Hello everyone. This story is called A Bad Day for Mr. Pickle. It was a busy day in Foodland, and nobody was busier than Mr. Pickle. Every day was a busy day for him. Today was no exception. Mr. Pickle's day started badly and got gradually worse as it went on. This is the story of how Mr. Pickle's extremely bad day unfolded. Mr. Pickle's day started going wrong as soon as he woke up. He'd woken up late and was rushing around his house looking for something important. Every night before he went to bed, Mr. Pickle wrote a list of all of his next day deliveries. But this particular morning, Mr. Pickle couldn't remember where he put his list. Oh, bother! Eventually, he found the list sitting underneath his bowl of cornflakes on the kitchen table. Aha! He said. But then there was trouble. In his attempt to pick up the list, Mr. Pickle accidentally knocked over the milk, spilling it everywhere. Now Mr. Pickle's list was ruined. All of his beautiful handwriting was smudged. Oh no! Oh, I haven't got time to write another list, he thought to himself. I'm just going to have to remember the list in my head. But because he was in such a rush, Mr. Pickle mixed up all of his deliveries. Firstly, he delivered a box of pens and pencils meant for Mr. Mash at Hot Dog High School to Mr. Biscuit at the bakery. Mr. Biscuit was surprised when he looked inside the box. Next, he delivered a big box of first aid equipment meant for Dr. Pepper at the Salt Shaker surgery to Mrs. Scoop at the ice cream factory. Then he delivered burgers jump leads to pizza at the Sea Life Rescue Centre. He delivered some jam and cream to PC Pineapple at the police station when it should have been dropped off at Mr. Biscuit's bakery. Oh, Mr. Pickle. The mix-ups continued all morning. Mr. Pickle delivered some bird nest boxes to Dr. Pepper at the surgery, which was meant for the Sea Life Centre. To finish his disastrous morning off, he delivered some shiny new handcuffs to Burger in the yard. PC Pineapple needed them at the police station. Finally, he delivered a box of hundreds and thousands to Mr. Mash in his classroom. He did look very confused. Excuse me, Mr. Pickle, laughed Mr. Mash. I didn't order any hundreds and thousands. I think these are meant for Mrs. Scoop, he laughed. Oh no, I'm very sorry, Mr. Mash. I was expecting some pens and pencils from my students, as we have an important art class tomorrow. Oh, I shall try and retrieve your pens, said Mr. Pickle sadly. But first, he took the box of hundreds of thousands to Mrs. Scoop at the ice cream factory. At the ice cream factory, Mrs. Scoop had opened up her delivery to find some first aid kits inside. I don't remember ordering these, she said, just as Mr. Pickle turned up. Here are your hundreds and thousands, he said. I'm very sorry. Oh, don't worry, she smiled kindly. But I think these are meant for Dr. Pepper, added Mrs. Scoop. So Mr. Pickle returned to the Salt Shaker surgery. At the surgery, Dr. Pepper was looking at the bird nest boxes. These are very interesting, he said, but I don't have any birds here, he laughed to himself. Soon Mr. Pickle arrived with a box of first aid kits. Aha, smiled the doc. That's what I'm waiting for. These bird boxes are for the Sea Life Centre, he said. Oh dear, today's been a disaster, said Mr. Pickle sadly. Dr. Pepper could see that Mr. Pickle was looking rather upset and gave him a nice mug of cocoa. Today's been a bad day, sighed Mr. Pickle. I've mixed up all of my deliveries. I feel terrible. I was in such a rush this morning, I've made a lot of mistakes. Everyone has received the wrong parcels. Ah, don't worry. We all have bad days, smiled the doc. Even me. Take a deep breath and take your time. It will all be okay in the end. Mistakes can happen when we rush around. By taking your time, you'll be able to work things out more easily, and you'll find yourself feeling a lot better. Oh, thank you, Doc, smiled Mr. Pickle. Oh, I must go. I've got to return these bird boxes to Pizza. At the Sea Life Centre, Pizza was looking at the jump leads that Mr. Pickle had dropped off to him early in the day. That's funny, he thought. I don't need jump leads. I don't even have a car. Mr. Pickle soon arrived and told Pizza about the mix-up of the parcels. Pizza was very happy to have his new bird boxes, and so too were the birds. Next, Mr. Pickle returned to the yard to deliver the jump leads to Burger, who used them to start Mr. T's camper van. I think these belong to PC Pineapple, laughed Burger, as he showed the new handcuffs to Mr. Pickle. Yes, I think so, he agreed. At the police station, PC Pineapple was very pleased to receive his new shiny handcuffs. Then he showed Mr. Pickle the box of jam and cream. Ah, Mr. Biscuit's delivery. So that's where it is. Mr. Pickle apologised for the mix-up. When Mr. Pickle arrived at the bakery with the jam and cream, Mr. Biscuit was very happy indeed. Now I can make some more scones, he smiled. And just then he remembered the box sitting underneath his counter. Excuse me, Mr. Pickle, he said, but I don't think these belong to me. Mr. Pickle opened the box and peeked inside. He wasn't surprised to find that Mr. Mash's pens and pencils were nestled neatly inside. Finally, I found you. I've been looking for you all day, he laughed. Then he told Mr. Biscuit all about his day of disastrous deliveries. His final stop was at the school, just as Mr. Mash was closing up. Here we are, puffed Mr. Pickle. It's the pens and pencils you ordered. Well done, Mr. Pickle, smiled Mr. Mash. Pickle by name and pickle by nature. Ha! And that's the end of the story. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again next time.